So joining me now is a man who has lived both the political and business worlds. He's experienced the grift firsthand. Anthony Scaramucci was President Trump's White House communications director for a very short time, 11 days. And he's also the co-founder of the investment firm SkyBridge Capital. Scaramucci was a mentor and friend to Sam Bankman-Fried and has said he feels betrayed by the fraud at FTX. Anthony, welcome. Good to see you.
It's good to be here, even under these circumstances.
Look, I appreciate you coming because I wanted you to essentially help us tell the story of how you got taken in by Sam Bankman-Fried. You were very forthcoming about this in quite a few. You know, you believed. How did he come in?
I appreciate the opportunity to tell a story, because if my story can save one person from hitting the tripwires that we hit at SkyBridge or other people, friends of ours, then it's a very valuable story to tell. But I think it's a simple story. You know, Sam is a very bright person. He was early in the cryptocurrency markets. He had developed what ultimately had the second largest exchange in cryptocurrency according to market share. And he had made himself a lot of money. But what happened to Sam, unfortunately, and I don't know exactly when the nefariousness kicked in, he made a decision that he was going to use his clients' money as a piggy bank for his personal trading.
Right.
And that is the cardinal sin of fraud. It's the cardinal sin of Wall Street, et cetera. And he created a very elaborate backdoor accounting system. So if you were one of the VCs that backed him, over $1 billion went into the company. 25 of the most renowned VCs in the world, including sovereign wealth funds, gave him the money. If you went into his control room, Chuck, you saw this very pristine accounting system. Yeah. You saw a young...
You did your due diligence.
We did. No, we did a
you
tremendous
really,
amount.
I mean, when you think back now, what's the yellow flag you think you missed?
The short circuit between him and his three cohorts. And so I think one of the very big learning lessons from this fraud, and I think financial frauds in general, you need a very small group of people to commit a fraud. Think of Bernie Madoff as an example. It was him, his brother, his assistant, an accountant over the Tappan Zee Bridge, close circle. He wasn't using PricewaterhouseCoopers. There'd be just too many people there, and there's always one person of conscience that would say, hey, I'm uncomfortable with this. And so Sam had 4 people he was working with outside of his compliance department, outside of his legal team, that he perpetrated this with, 3 of which have already pled out and pled guilty.
When you went in with him, you went all in. I mean, you gave him the possibility of potentially buying your firm out.
Thankfully, there was a slight piece of caution there, because when I met with Sam in August of 2022 in the Bahamas, the notion was that he was going to buy all of SkyBridge, and he wanted to give me FTX stock for it. I looked at Sam and said, listen, I'm 35 plus years in the business. Right. If you want to buy a piece of it for cash, I believe in gradualism, let's go slow. That would be better for me, and we can get our relationship started. We really like each other. I'll give you the option to buy the remaining shares. So I did go all in, but thank God I had some caution, not based on Sam, by the way. Yeah. I bought into Sam, and I believe Sam.
It's interesting. You were
just natural
2022
caution.
wasn't a great year.
Terrible year for me.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a tough year.
As the Queen used to say, it was a very bad year.
Yeah, I think she might say that.
Yeah.
Did you end up do you think in hindsight you overlooked some things with Sam and FTX because, boy, you were looking for the next big thing?
No question. No, listen, I mean, I thought Sam was the Mark Zuckerberg of crypto. He was a brilliant guy. If you sat at a table with him and he elucidated the vision that he had for the cryptocurrency businesses and the eventual tokenization of assets, he was creating the modern New York Stock Exchange. Remember, our stock exchange is 1790 for the New York one. The CME is 1890. Sam was moving things into the 22nd century, and he was brilliant. But when you're brilliant and flawed, or brilliant and malevolent, or you're emotionally detached from others, you know, the best I can say about him is maybe he had this God complex where he thought, oh, it's okay to take Chuck and Anthony's money, temporarily put it in my account. When I save the world, I'll give it back to them.
You think he probably thought, oh, I'm just borrowing this money, I'll always give it back.
Well, that's what they do. They have this semblance in their personalities. You know, Chuck is fine. I'm a genius. I'm a guru. I'm going to take Chuck's money, put it in my account, make a gajillion, and give Chuck his money back. No one will be worse for the wear. But it never works like that, as you know.
You told this tale of taking him around the world, essentially. Some of the biggest and most important sovereign funds and leaders, NBC, MBS, Saudi Arabia, UAE. I mean, that's an amazing ability. He basically used you to get to these people.
Listen,
I know he was a well-known person, but without you, he doesn't get there.
Yeah, listen, he had a high profile. He could have gotten to places, but I had long-term relationships. One of the ideas of selling my company to him was there was a generational transfer of knowledge and contacts, and he was somebody that I genuinely liked. I was close to his dad, Joe Bankman, a tenured university professor at Stanford Law School.
So in that sense, you felt like, well, I know his stock. Right?
I
don't know him, but I know his dad, and his dad seems like
I got it wrong. I got it wrong side of other people. It doesn't excuse the fact that I got it wrong. I own the fact that I got it wrong. But here's the good news: when you have great relationships, if you're introducing him to the president of the UAE, Mohammed bin Zayed's reaction was, "I'm sorry this is happening to you, Anthony. How can I help you?"
Interesting.
You see what I'm saying? And so
they don't feel taken by you. They don't feel angry. Are they angry at him?
No,
Did he make some enemies?
I think the good news is obviously none of them made the investment. And I think the good news is that trip that you're referencing that I took him to the Middle East uncovered the fraud. He had said some things about one of his competitors, who was the founder of Binance, that he didn't like. The Binance
Is it on that trip that you started to wonder, did I make a bad bet?
No, I've got to always be upfront about this. When the scandal started to erupt, I had made the assumption, based on our due diligence, he had the capital to meet the liquidity requirements. It didn't dawn on me until Tuesday morning, November the 8th. Wow. I had booked myself on a JetBlue flight to the Bahamas to meet with him, to square up with him, Chuck, face to face. And it was there in that moment that I realized, okay, he broke the code of conduct. He broke the terms of service at FTX, and he's probably going to go to jail for a very long time.
I'm going to make you answer this shortly. Is Donald Trump a grifter?
Yeah, he's a different type of grifter than Sam Bankman-Fried, but yes, he's a grifter. They have the same chemistry, these types of people. They objectify human beings. They don't look at you or me as flesh and blood and develop empathy for us. They see us as either means to get them to a place that they need to get to, and therefore then they can immediately discard you, or they'll run over you with indiscrimination. So yes, he's a grifter. There's something a little meaner about Donald Trump than Sam Bankman-Fried, because Donald Trump, he really wants to hurt people. You know, he excites the racism. He excites the division. He brings out, Sam was really playing a video game and seeing if he could score more points than the rest of us. Donald Trump is more in that political sociopathic behavior, where he wants power over other things that are probably more important than power.
Anthony Scaramucci, thanks for sharing the story.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
All right, my friend.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.